I've always loved Tupac because between our upbringings and our Gemini placements, we share a lot in common. I would watch him with pain and wonder because I understood what it is to be the biggest star dimmed by your surroundings and the people that claim to love you just to betray you. It is why I still feel so bad for how young he died. He never got to take the journey I'm taking now, the one to peace. Now I just want to put a little trigger warning. This next part talks about suicide and suicidal ideation, and please get help. You need to stay. We need good people. All right, we need you. All right, so prepare for some real, sincere vulnerability. I've always struggled with suicidal ideation and tried twice. The first time was in senior year of college. I downed about as many Red Bull vodkas as you could in an hour and legitimately stopped my own heart. I was not a pill taker and I did not want to bleed, but finding ways to die that did not include violence or Tylenol was hard. The second time I tried to hang myself and even got a strong, thick, heavily wired cord that would not break at my weight. Yet after 1 minute, it snapped at the helm and ended up accidentally spanking me. I was ashamed. I could not get living right, and now I cannot get dying right. After 2 failed attempts, I was determined not to try again because of how much courage, or rather sadness, it takes to even try, and how much sorrow you swim in once you fail. And my relationship with death has always been one of fascination and fear. Growing up in a family of both Santeros and Christians, both concluded that death was just the loss of a body, which is why they were obsessed with spirits, ancestors, and God or gods. The body was our airplane flying around until one day we became the sky. It was a beautiful yet anxiety-inducing notion because to them, death was not relief. It literally was just you losing your ability to distract from who you are by becoming only it, your soul. You could not retail therapy or binge eat. You were just you, purely you, no body. Instead, you stayed the core of your spirit, which is why some ghosts haunt. Even with that notion, I treated death like some sweet relief because Lord knows no one ever loved my body, including me. Yet I always pitied those that died young, despite trying to join them, because I knew they did not leave with peace as much as plans. When I look at Tupac's life, I see that, for us, he is a symbol, an emblem of cosmic talent born into earthly odds, or genius, persevering in the face of a world obsessed with dimming it, or calling it crazy. We love the death of youth, as a symbol for why we should live now. But growing up with a spiritual family, I understood that in the afterlife, what the world makes you once you're gone does not matter. It is what you made of you. That always did. Which is why I feel an urgency to get my ish together, not end up like Tupac, preaching to a world that knows its sins, sharing my wealth and wisdom and talent, and watching it splice it, and living in the imbalance and great love for life and absolute rage against it. Now, I'm not saying I'm Tupac, although I'm pretty close. But I've reached a level of enough healing to admit I am very talented, creative, and unique. Yet we love these legends because they touch up an aspect of our reality and our fantasy. He was a star born without a father, and some rough circumstances that made the need for one felt. Sure, that may feel like bold, apparent connection, but to me, I see his sadness, the brazen attempt to come for anyone else that saw it too, and the desire to make it to a place where it no longer existed. Perhaps in heaven he got to that deserved place, but I want it on earth. So I'm a major fan of Tupac. I say it, I share a lot of astrological placements. I share a lot of his personality. I love watching interviews of him because I see the transformation. I mean, he studied ballet and poetry and, raised with incredibly intelligent, political parents, obviously a single mom, but his dad was a Black Panther as well. And, just the anger and the wonder and the mist and the magic of just being so pure, such a good heart, such an open heart in a world that is way overdue in terms of reckoning for how it crushes good hearts. And you see the transformation of him. You know, one minute he's learning ballet in high school, and then, you know, he's getting Thug Life tattooed on his stomach. And he died by 25. So he really had a very big but brief life. And I think my sadness with Tupac, when I think about our shared personalities and stories and history, is that he just never got the chance to take that healing journey. I think he would have been a great old person. I really do. I think he would have, you know, realized it's, you know, F the world. Who cares if people think I'm calm or crazy? I want peace, and not try to fix everybody or fix himself, but actually heal and accept and grow. Man, he would have been such a great person to grow. And yeah, I watch him with a lot of sadness, because when I think of, you know, me up until 25, I was so, you know, a social justice warrior, big personality, incredibly intelligent, incredibly hopeful, angry and excited all at once. I hated the world. I loved the world. But no matter what, I didn't love myself. And that yo-yo of wanting to fix everybody and everything, because you really do believe that's what's blocking you from loving yourself and healing yourself. I saw this great TikTok. This woman said, you know, she started healing when she stopped trying to fix herself and realized that her darkness just wanted to be held by her light. And fixing makes you think that your darkness holds your light. You know, when you try to nitpick and shame yourself, and you get vengeful and rageful at everybody that hurt you, at everything that's hurting you. And just one day, you know, yeah, you got to get angry. Yeah, you got to get sad. But I always say, you could be right in your anger. You'll never be righteous in it. And I don't even think he got the chance to learn that. And he was so incredibly thoughtful, so intelligent and wise and generous. And I felt bad for him, because he just didn't have enough life to realize that all that he gave to the world, he could give to himself and feel so much better. And there was a line that he said, I forget the song, because, oh my God, I could listen to him all day. And now everything, you know, I'm the worst with lyrics for somebody trying to be a singer, like really bad. My God, I have to memorize before a concert. But he was talking about, you know, you can't grieve a father who wasn't there, and the world will think he's cold when he doesn't cry for his father that passes. And that line always stood out to me, because my father was so dark and evil towards me. I mean, he made me the scapegoat for everything that went wrong in his life. And there were times where I wished he was dead. As sad as it is, I wished he was gone, because he was so verbally abusive and mentally and emotionally. And you don't think of death in that moment as, you know, the big dramatic, the funeral, or go to the grave. You really think of it as relief and release from this energy that the world keeps forcing on you. And he always wanted pity. He always wanted understanding and compassion. And these were things he never showed me and my mom. So here I was on overdrive, overstressed, overworked, overthinking how to make my own abuser feel comfortable with me. And it's insane when I think about it, because it's not just that they didn't abandon you. They loomed over you. And you do feel a resentment, because from a young age, you are a caretaker for somebody who's uncaring. And I understood his anger, especially when you're such a smart, open-hearted kid. What? You know, the burden of being sensitive and kind and sweet is that you don't really know how to react to a world that says it wants those things, but doesn't protect it. And as a child, you go with words. You know, if somebody promises you ice cream, you expect ice cream. And it takes you a few times, especially if that somebody is your dad or an adult, to realize, wow, they always say they're going to get me ice cream and they never do. And then you grow up and You still don't get ice cream to keep up with the helado analogy. But yeah, I really do love Tupac, and I like I said, I hope he got peace in heaven. I just really, really, really want it on earth. I want to know it. And that's why I'm doing Daddy Recovery. And you can read the articles at daddyrecovery.com. Listen to my music on all platforms as Deandra. Check it out. Follow me.